This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 9th day of July in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. The United States government will be deploying security experts to Guyana to train members of the Guyana police force ahead of the September 1 general and regional elections, U.S. Ambassador Nico Theriot has disclosed. Those experts, according to the ambassador, will either come from Las Vegas or Miami-Dade police departments.
So what we're going to be doing very shortly is bringing in police trainers from, we haven't settled yet on either Las Vegas or Miami-Dade, to provide election security training. So to help the GPF be prepared for whatever might come. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully it'll be nice and peaceful. But we're going to be doing that.
The U.S. ambassador made the comments while responding to queries from News Source on the sidelines of an event this morning. She also explained that the security training forms part of coordinated support being provided to Guyana, either at the level of the Guyana Elections Commission or the Guyana Police Force by the ABC EU countries. Noting that the strength of Guyana's democracy is incredibly important to the U.S., Ambassador Theriot said the security training is in direct response to a request from the Guyana Police Force.
Actually, it was just a result of a request from the GPF that this was something that they could use some assistance in, and we're happy to provide it. As you know, our elections, no matter how contentious they might be, they're always peaceful for the most part. And so we do have a lot of expertise in that in the United States, so we were very happy to help. We were hoping to bring back the NYPD because there's already that wonderful partnership between the New York Police Department and the government of the Guyana Police Force, but unfortunately they were unable to travel until September. And
as it works closely with the other missions, Ambassador Theriot said the U.S. is also funding 2/3 of the OAS Election Observer mission to Guyana, and is also working closely with the Carter Center, which has already deployed a delegation to Guyana to observe the elections. For its part, the U.S. Observer Mission will comprise about 50 persons who will monitor the country's electoral process from the opening of the polls to the declaration of the results by the Elections Commission. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. It can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
it's time to renew the mission, to stay the course. The People's Progressive Party Civic invites you to the 2025 elections campaign launch on Sunday, July 13th at the Kitty Market Square, Georgetown, starting from 3 p.m. Be there to hear from President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, General Secretary of the PPP Dr. Barrett Jagnio, and Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips and others. Guyana is on the rise with massive achievements in education, housing to healthcare, infrastructure to innovation. As the most trusted political party, we are transforming Guyana for all. Let us rally for the People's Progressive Party Civic 2025 elections campaign launch Sunday, July 13th at the Kitty Market Square in Georgetown, starting from 3 p.m. for PPPC, forward together for a better Guyana.
In the agriculture sector right now, Bloomberg Grain, a leading global food security company, today signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Guyana through the Ministry of Agriculture to collaborate on the marketing and branding of the regional food hub, which is currently under construction at Yarrow Cabra along the Suzdijk-Linden Highway. Bloomberg Grain's fully integrated crop and food security systems help reduce post-harvest losses of grain, produce, and other perishables to an aggregated 5% or less. The chairman of Bloomberg Partners, Philip Bloomberg, said the MOU augurs well for Guyana, explaining that it is the company's intention to significantly reduce the country's post-harvest loss.
First step towards what we're doing is to reduce post-harvest loss. While it's a self-sufficient country, we can reduce post-harvest loss, which is the loss farmers sustain from their field to the market. It will only increase the exportable products in the agriculture sector. And we are focused on CARICOM in northern South America as we make our investments.
With a reduction in post-harvest losses, he said farmers can rake in greater revenues with increased exports. He also said through the food hub, Bloomberg can help the country tap into markets across the region and in other parts of the world.
The president wants a food hub, and the minister has reinforced that, in Guyana to serve not just the country, but CARICOM and parts of South America. And we're prepared to join the minister and the president in that effort to create a major regional hub. My confidence in the president's vision for this country allows me to make announcements here today that I have not made publicly. We will invest. Not only will we do this project, and I hope others. There's been a discussion of rice and meat and poultry and so forth, and even a pork project. But the reality is we're prepared to invest in processing on our account of Guyana agriculture products.
Looking ahead, Bloomberg said his company hopes to also invest in a manufacturing plant in Guyana to produce the most advanced shade houses. The company also wants to designate Guyana as its hub within the region. Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa said the signing of the MOU is testament to the government's commitment to advancing Guyana's agriculture sector.
And that is testimony to the government and the government commitment in improving the lives of our people in this country. That is testimony to the government commitment in making Guyana a food secure country. What we are about to do this morning, we are about to sign an agreement with an international recognized company, a company that has lots of experience and have been doing work across the world. We are now bringing those expertise in Guyana to transform the development that started since 2020.
And the U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Nicole Theriot, said the signing of the MOU is the first step in the incredibly important partnership between the U.S. company Bloomberg Grain and the government of Guyana.
I arrived here a year and 9 months ago, and one of the first things President Ali said to me was food security is a priority for me, and it's a priority for CARICOM, and this deal that's happening today is a major step towards achieving that. And it extends far beyond the CARICOM, even into parts of South America. I think this partnership has the potential to change lives throughout this region, and I'm so very proud that you chose to partner with a U.S. company to do that.
The Agriculture Ministry has been stepping up its efforts in keeping with the government's development push for the agriculture sector. Now to the cost of living in Guyana. The prices for vegetables, fruits, ground provision, and meat have soared on average by more than 75% over the past 3 years in the country. In comparative data provided by the New Guyana Marketing Corporation in 2021 and 2025 as part of its weekly bulletins, food prices have been climbing steadily since 2021. The data represents prices that were recorded at the Border and Stabroek markets in Georgetown, which are two of the country's largest and busiest markets. The prices for some vegetables like cabbage, pak choy, cucumber, and karila have seen increases of more than 100%. In May 2021, cabbage was being sold at $170 per pound. According to the data provided in May of this year, cabbage was being sold at $360 per pound. Pak choy has jumped from $47 to $100 per hand. Cucumbers are now being sold at a cost of $80 each, up from $29 3 years ago. And karila is now being sold for $300 per pound, as compared to $130 in 2021. Bolonje or eggplant has seen a 20% increase in its price. Okra has seen a 65% increase. The price for pumpkin has increased by 65.5%, and tomatoes have seen a 73% increase over the past 3 years. Seasonings have also seen increases, with wiri pepper jumping from $190 per pound to $400 per pound, while hot pepper has moved from $280 per pound to $400 per pound. An examination of the price for local fruits has also revealed some steep increases. According to the data from the government agency, cayenne banana has jumped from $200 per pound to $400 per pound, while the cost for apple banana has jumped from $110 per pound to $260 per pound. Watermelon has seen a 93% increase in the price, while the cost for pineapples has increased from $330 to $600 each. The price for oranges has remained stagnant at $100 each. If you are a lover of soup or that metagy, you might have noticed a soaring cost for ground provision. The data from the New Guyana Marketing Corporation has revealed that the price for Edo has moved from $90 per pound to $200 per pound in the past 3 years. Sweet potato isn't all that sweet. It has seen a 100% increase, as it has moved from $100 per pound to $200 per pound, while cassava has recorded a 77% increase, and plantain has jumped from $110 per pound to $180 per pound. Meat lovers might have noticed increases too. Local chicken has recorded a 75% increase in its price, moving from $320 per pound to $560 per pound. Beef may no longer be what's for dinner. It is being sold at a cost of $950 per pound currently, an increase of 63.7%. Pork has recorded an 87.5% increase from $400 per pound in 2021 to the current $750 per pound. Eggs have seen an increase of 21.2% in the price. Basic food prices have been climbing, with citizens across the country complaining about the impact on the cost of living. While the government has announced some steps to cushion the increase in food prices, many of those steps do not result in lower prices. In some instances, farmers were provided with millions of dollars worth in fertilizer by the government, but that benefit to them did not trickle down to the shopper in the marketplace. There have been calls for more monitoring of food prices to be done by the government. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa is not happy with recent comments made by the PNC reform leader and APNU presidential candidate Aubrey Norton. Norton has promised, among other things, to transform the Guyana Sugar Corporation Guyana under an APNU-led government. But Minister Mustafa, who is also the Executive Secretary of the governing People's Progressive Party, said the comments by Mr. Norton are disingenuous, since it was under the last APNU-AFC government that a number of sugar estates were closed. Mr. Norton served as Presidential Youth Advisor in the last administration. And when he mounted the political platform to launch his party's election campaign, he spoke of a plan to right-size the industry without closing any sugar estates, but to diversify and make the industry profitable. In a statement in response, Minister Mustafa said it is the party that Mr. Norton now leads, in effect, to destroy the sugar industry. He said the industry has been going downhill since the early 2000s. According to Minister Mustafa, the comments from Mr. Norton are nothing more than theatrical fabrications and hollow promises. He said the current PP Civic government is working to turn around the industry, admitting that much more still has to be done. He said the reality is that under the PP Civic government and under the leadership of President Irfan Ali, Guyana is being rebuilt. Mustafa said sugar workers are aware and they remember who was with them in their difficult times. He said the sugar industry currently does not need empty promises, but rather it needs leadership.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Meadows, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D,
Timothy Roberts,
and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate, and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Starbrook Market.
4 CARICOM member states, Barbados, Belize, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Dominica, will be implementing free movement of the region's nationals by the 1st of October 2025 as part of CARICOM's regional integration push under the CARICOM single market and economy. The announcement was made by the chairman of CARICOM, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness, during the closing media conference of the 49th regular meeting of the CARICOM Conference of Heads of Government, which took place in Jamaica.
That we are now moving from applying administratively the protocol on enhanced cooperation, which all member states have signed, with now 4 countries, Barbados, Belize, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica, reiterating their willingness to implement full free movement under the protocol starting October 1, 2025.
The CARICOM chairman said his country, Jamaica, is also committed to implementing free full movement in accordance with the treaty amendments and is examining ways of speeding up the implementation. He said CARICOM heads agreed that the pace and scope of the CSME was generally too slow, and they resolved to speed up the implementation.
I want to make clear that Jamaica remains committed to implementing full free movement in accordance with the treaty amendments, and we are also examining ways to speed up our own implementation. The fact is that due to our legislative framework and other considerations, we have had to move with greater consideration. However, it is our intention to speed up the implementation of full free movement. Jamaica is indeed committed to this.
The CARICOM chairman also announced an expansion of the approved skill categories under the CSME regime.
Heads agreed to add aviation personnel to the approved list of skilled categories. And it is worth noting that Jamaica contributed 3 new occupations to the list, namely photogrammetry, field maintenance personnel, and aircraft maintenance personnel.
The protocol on enhanced cooperation was signed by CARICOM leaders back in 2023, signaling a move toward removing the need for work permits or skill certificates for nationals moving across borders within the Caribbean region and CARICOM. Let's tell you now that Attorney General Anil Nandlal is cautioning that unauthorized visits to some indigenous communities could amount to a criminal offense. He is urging persons to follow the correct procedures before entering those villages. The Attorney General's comments appear to be in response to the controversy that erupted over the weekend during a visit by presidential candidate for the We Invest in Nationhood Party, Azruddin Mohammed, to Wikikalkuni community in the Berbice River. During the visit to a promotional cricket match and fun day activity that was being held, the Tushao of the village grabbed the flag for the Win party and stomped on it repeatedly, claiming that no permission was granted for Mohammed to enter the village. The event being hosted was a private promotion in the village that welcomed visitors from all over and even offered table packages for the sale of liquor and other beverages. While not addressing the confrontation, the Attorney General, during his weekly Issues in the News program, said the Amerindian villages historically and under the Amerindian Act are not public property, and therefore persons cannot venture into those communities and do as they feel.
And therefore, unauthorized persons can't enter an Amerindian reservation. That's what it's called in North America, or an Indian reservation, without permission. The same position obtains in Guyana under the Amerindian Act. And if you enter the Amerindian village without permission, you commit a criminal offense and you can be charged and placed before a magistrate.
Mr. Nandlal said the issue is not a political one. He reminded of an issue back in early 2015 when the village council of Moko Moko in the Rupununi prevented then President Donald Ramatar and the team from entering the village because of late notice.
The persons who under the law are presumed to have permission are government officers going into Amerindian communities to do government business. That category of persons are exempt from the permission and exempt by the Act. And the Amerindian Act simply re-legislate a position that had obtained even before 2006, before the enactment of this Act. It was always an offense to enter an Amerindian reservation or an Amerindian village without the permission of the village council or the village leaders.
Mohammed's campaign team has said they believe they were targeted. In a statement, the team noted that the actions by the Tushao and persons aligned with the governing PPP can be interpreted to be against the principles of free and fair campaigning. Well, more than 2 weeks since he was found guilty of fraud and sentenced to 9 months in jail, political activist for the governing People's Progressive Party in Linden, Kevon Lorimer, is still to begin his jail sentence. The sentence was handed down against Lorimer in his absence. However, he was taken into custody by the police in Linden on Monday. Since then, Lorimer has remained in the custody of the police in Linden. He is now likely to be handed over to the prison authorities by tomorrow, police sources have said. News source understands that there might have been some political maneuvering to delay Lorimer's handover to the prison authorities to begin that jail sentence. Senior police officials could not explain the reason behind the delay. Retired Assistant Police Commissioner and former Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Paul Slow, raised concern over the issue in a social media post. Mr. Slow said once a commitment warrant is issued by the court, the person named must be handed over to the prison authorities to begin serving the time stated in the warrant. He said no government official nor senior police officer can change that, and he believes the delay in the handover of Lorimer is evidence of corruption. Kevon Lorimer was charged with the offense of obtaining by false pretense on the 3rd of February 2025. The matter was fixed for trial on the 19th of June at the Linden Magistrates Court. Following the non-appearance of the defendant, the court proceeded with the trial, and at its conclusion, Lorimer was found guilty and sentenced to 9 months in jail. 7 years after she was charged for manslaughter over the death of her reputed husband, 36-year-old Melissa Silas walked out of the High Court a free woman this morning after the jury returned a not guilty verdict. The husband, Julian Anthony Roberto, was found dead at the couple's Susdyke home on the 13th of November back in 2018. A post-mortem examination found that he died by asphyxiation due to compression injuries to the neck. The woman, who was pregnant at the time, had always maintained her innocence in the matter, although the police had claimed that she had confessed. At the trial this morning, the jury was directed by the judge to return the not guilty verdict after attorneys Hubern Alicock and Travis Ferreira, who represented the accused, successfully made a no-case submission. The attorney submitted that the prosecution had failed to establish its case, since there was a lack of evidence tying the woman to the man's death and several inconsistencies in the evidence provided by witnesses for the prosecution. The jury was instructed to return the not guilty verdict.
Turbo with a new look, new style, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go and go grab one. Me charge up with a turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait, sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with turbo can. Turbo can, turbo can, turbo can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today.
The EDGE series comes alive this July in Guyana. 3 sporting disciplines, 3x3 basketball, table tennis, and criterium racing. Teams from across regions compete for a total prize pool of over $2.5 million and the title of champion. The EDGE series. Are you on the edge?
And I'ma do it again. Watch me.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Recent changes to U.S. immigration law following the approval of President Trump's new bill will lead to increased expenses for Caribbean nationals applying for visas, seeking asylum, or obtaining immigration relief. A new $250 visa integrity fee has been introduced for all temporary visa applicants, in addition to the existing $185 application fee, affecting various visa categories, including tourist, student, and exchange visitor visas. Families sponsoring relatives or assisting with the immigration process will encounter several new costs, such as $1,000 for asylum applications, $500 for temporary protected status applications, and $550 for work permits, among others. There are also annual fees while asylum applications are pending, and substantial costs for adjusting residency status or applying for green cards in immigration court. Work permits will now require renewal every 6 months at a cost of $550, which increases the financial burden on those who depend on authorized employment. Additionally, families with unaccompanied minors face significant initial and release fees and penalties for court appearance failures, which may discourage sponsorship and family reunification. Overall, Caribbean nationals and their families in the U.S. should prepare for a more complex and costly immigration process moving forward. A new law will be laid in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago to raise the legal age for gambling and marijuana use to 25 years and over, and also increase the legal age for alcohol use to 21 years. In her first address reporting to UNC supporters since the party's April 28 general election victory, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar detailed moves for upcoming legislation and other developments regarding the judiciary, Budget 2026, and her intention to contest the party's leadership election ahead. In doing so, she announced the planned increase in age to 25 years for marijuana use and gambling, and 21 years for alcohol use. During her campaign, she repeatedly cited the negative effects of marijuana use on youths and the havoc gambling, addiction, and alcohol use cause. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump issued final tariff notices to 7 minor trading partners on Wednesday as his administration inched closer to a deal with its biggest trading partner, the European Union. Trump said in posts on his Truth social media platform that starting August 1, he would impose a 20% tariff on goods from the Philippines and 30% on goods from Sri Lanka, Algeria, Iraq, and Libya. No letter was issued to the EU, but Trump had said late on Tuesday that he would issue a minimum of 7 tariff notices on Wednesday morning and more in the afternoon. The latest letters add to 14 others issued earlier in the week, including 25% tariffs for powerhouse U.S. suppliers, South Korea, and Japan, which are also to take effect on August 1. barring any trade deals reached before then. They were issued a day after Trump said he was broadening his trade war by imposing a 50% tariff on imported copper. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.